This is the thing with David Benjamin. His doctrine seems to morph and change depending on what's convenient.
They'll see the reaction of the audience, then they'll come back and they'll tweak it some more and tweak it some more.
He's practically gaslighting his audience. He speaks in this weird, cryptic language, and if you ever try to actually pin him down on his heretical doctrine, he'll say, "You're misinterpreting what I'm saying." It's heavy witchcraft.
The people who follow him, they worship him. They even get in their cars and try to act like him. It's clear cult behavior that if anybody even criticizes David Benjamin, they get viciously attacked. That's what cult members do. And it also shows me that this guy is doing witchcraft because he is not charismatic at all. I mean, I look at the guy and I don't see why people would even listen to him.
Many people have compared David Benjamin to Aleister Crowley. For those of you that don't know who Aleister Crowley is a famous English occultist who lived in the early 1900s. He claimed that he contacted demons and he performed weird sex rituals in order to have communion with these devils. He's a huge influence on the modern Satanist movement in America and in the West today. Crowley has this famous quote from one of his books, which is mocking the 10 Commandments. He says, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law."
I've looked into Aleister Crowley because people have called him the wickedest man to ever live, so it's intriguing to look at your enemy and see what they actually believe and practice. I read some of his writings and I would have to take it away from my face. It was so disgusting. Aleister Crowley, one of his main teachings was something called the Great Work. And David Benjamin does the same thing. He capitalized the Great Salvation. Really what they're teaching at the core is the same thing. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Basically, do whatever you want because there's no consequences. That's exactly what David Benjamin teaches, and that's why I've said it's Satanism masquerading as true Christianity.
Essentially what he's saying is that we should overthrow God's commandments and replace it with one commandment. Do what you please, do whatever you want. Don't care about morality, don't care about being a good person, just do what you please. Now, my question is, how is this any different from what David Benjamin is teaching? He teaches that Jesus came to overthrow the law, that Christians shouldn't keep God's commandments, that we should do as we wilt, or as he puts it, live by faith, whatever that means. I think it's clear to anyone that David Benjamin's teachings are satanic, but few people know how deep this rabbit hole goes. His doctrine on the Christian life is like identical to Aleister Crowley's satanic hedonism. He also uses forms of gaslighting and manipulation that's found straight out of 48 Laws of Power. His James doctrine is just bizarre, like it came right out of the author of Confusion's mouth himself, Satan. And it's also strange despite having no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He sounds like a sodomite, he's fat, his videos have zero production quality, he still manages to have this cult-like stranglehold over his audience. Like, how do people not just come to the conclusion that his whole doctrine is just a justification for his personal sins? But on top of all of this, people who go against David Benjamin have strange supernatural things happen to them.
This took place about a week after I made my David Benjamin videos. I was basically just in the backyard. I just started to just get really dizzy. My heart started to just pound, and I stood up, and I barely made it inside, but I fell inside on the floor, and I remember it feeling like my spirit was like leaving my body. I don't know how to describe it. It was really bizarre. And so immediately Fuego started to pray over me. And the minute he prayed over me, it went away, like instantaneously.
Yeah, man, I do have a weird testimony. It started like 2 nights ago. So I'm doing my intense research on David Benjamin, and I stayed up late, like it was 12. I'm going to bed, and then I started hearing some really weird sounds. There was like tapping on the wall, ticking at the wall, like I don't know, like there's like a nail like picking at something, and I'm like, I hear this, and I'm kind of like shook. I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? I'm just trying to sleep, bro, you know. I like turn on my light. I'm like, I'm going to investigate the attic. Nothing there, dog, and it's a super thin wall. Like there's no way something this loud is like in the wall, literally. There's just no way, right? I'm just like, bro, whatever this is, the Lord rebuke it, right? And it shuts up, and it's 1 a.m. now. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Next day, I do the same thing. I do even more research, and I try to go to sleep. It's like 12:30. I just start hearing the noises again, but it's like louder.
Before I even knew what hypergrace was, I became friends with somebody in that community who was what we call a Benjaminite. I'm like, I don't know about this guy. Some people are kind of warning me about him. And she said, just check him out. And so I did for a couple minutes, I think the first time, a couple minutes. And I was like, I'm just not kind of feeling it. I don't know about this. And then so I went to her about it again. And she said, just watch more. He has some really in-depth information, and you really need to, he has a lot of videos. Look at his James series, and he has thousands of videos. And I was like, that's a lot. They were super long, but I said, if it's the truth, why they gotta be so long? Why the videos gotta be so long? Like, why can't it be simple? Because I found how he talked confusing. Anyways, I said, you know what? I'm going to trust her and give her a chance. What she's telling me, see if what she's saying is true. I have like a 30-minute drive. I said, I'm gonna pop it in. I hooked up my auxiliary cord, hooked it up in my phone, played the YouTube video. It's like, let me listen to his video for like 25 minutes. And about 5 minutes into the video was a car swerving in front of me. It might've been something in the road. If I didn't react in time, it could have caused a major accident, and it would have just been horrible. And every time I listened to this guy, it just, this weird, sticky, like just gross feeling came over me.
I don't think you can just explain away all this stuff.
It just felt demonic. It didn't feel, it was really confusing. Nothing really would have caused it, or that's not like me to have that kind of experience. It felt like it was outside of me. It was really a bizarre experience for me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just too conspiratorial.